Welcome to the Building Doors Podcast, where we're not just pushing for opportunities for women's voices to be heard, we're creating them. I'm Christy Harst, voiceover actor and creator of the Building Doors campaign. Join us as we amplify voices, break barriers, and build doors together.
Welcome to the Building Doors LinkedIn Live for November. I am your host, Amy Geronimi, and today we are diving into Voices of Pride. It's a conversation with LGBTQ voices who are bringing authenticity, talent, and representation to not only voiceover with this crowd, but to every corner of the arts. I'm thrilled to be joined by Cherie Tay, Allegra Berlezza, and Carolina Hoyos, who will be sharing amazing insights with us. And we'd love to hear from you beyond the live. Call this number, 216-307-1917, anytime during or after the event. Leave a short voicemail with your thoughts on today's discussion and the Building Doors campaign. I also want to give a special shout out to some of our supporters who recently bought us some coffee. Many thanks to monthly subscribers, Sandy Harrison Cooksey, Marion Mills, and John Lano. If you love the Building Doors campaign and our live events and our podcast, you can buy us a coffee too at buymeacoffee.com/buildingdoorsvo. So first off, I announced yesterday that I would be giving away one free 5-spot commercial demo that I will produce for one lucky person on this live event. But I said I would do the password at the end, and that's silly. We're all adults. You might have to split. So I'm going to give you the secret password now. So I am producing demos through VoiceOver Demos a la carte, my new production arm of my business. It has been a great jam. So we'll have a great time together. Here's the password: a la carte 25. One word. A la carte 25. My friend Christy Harst will post this for you too, along with my email address. So if you send me that password in an email, I will enter you into a drawing to win a free demo. So thank you for that. And really appreciate everybody being here. I'm going to have these amazing humans introduce themselves. We'll go around and just find out who you are and what you're about and what you do in this funky world that we're in. So if you don't mind, let's open it up with Cherie B. Tay.
Hey everyone, I'm Cherie. I am currently in the middle of Manhattan and not in a booth. I just came from a doctor's appointment and I'm about to go to a recording session, which is such the real life of a voice actor. So hopefully you can hear me off of these AirPod Pros. I've been doing voiceover for about 5 years and also doing the Broadway stage management. And I'm here, and I'm ready to rap.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's move to Allegra.
Yes. Hello. I'm Allegra, pronouns they, them. I've been a voice actor for over 5 years. Recently, I relocated from New York City to Cleveland, Ohio to save a little money because New York City is expensive. Yeah. But I hope to be back soon to the tri-state area. But yeah, voice acting for over 5 years. I work kind of across genres, but definitely a lot in commercials, e-learning, political, explainers, corporate, and the occasional video game and audiobook. I'm on the board at QueerVox. I'm a part of Blue Wave with these wonderful humans. And yeah, I'm so excited to be here.
That's awesome. And when you mentioned Blue Wave, all 4 of us are part of the Blue Wave Voiceover Collective. So we do political ads. We do voiceover for political ads through production houses and auditions through agents and so forth. And all of us are in this Blue Wave Voiceover Collective, which is a collection of voice actors from all walks of life doing this amazing work for a Blue Wave. Let's move to Carolina. Welcome.
And we certainly just had that blue wave. Woo!
Yes, we did.
So I'm Carolina. I'm an actor, musician, writer, director. I've been doing voiceover. I started like 20 years ago, but it really caught on 5 years ago during the pandemic. So I'm a full-time voice artist. That's kind of my main gig across all genres, from audiobooks to video games, commercial, animation, e-learning, explainer videos, you name it. I've probably done it. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks.
So excited to have you. I know. And you do on camera as well. So theater, you get whisked off to sets, and it's just an amazing world that you live in. And you're in LA, right?
And I'm in LA. I used to be in New York. It is very expensive. I moved to LA to be more affordable. And LA is also expensive, but it's more affordable than New York.
Yeah. Well, let's stay with you, Carolina, for my first question for you all is, so we're focusing on Voices of Pride. We're all a part of the LGBTQ community. Carolina, how do you define inclusion in the arts? Have you experienced feeling not included or feeling intentionally included in your career?
Yes. It was so apparent to me when my niece, she's in grad school now or medical school, but when she was in high school, she was telling me how many people were out in her high school. And I was like, that was not my experience, that people were outwardly out in high school for me. And I realized I hadn't even come out to my family yet. Like I'd come out in public in my career, but they don't always follow everything. And I never came out specifically to them. And I was telling them that there's so many roles that are cast that people get awarded for playing against type, and it's not authentic. And it's, only recently has there been like Jonathan Bailey. He can be gay and play straight and get awarded for it and, actually get celebrated for it and not be penalized and only playing gay. So it was so apparent to me then that, oh my gosh, I still haven't come out to my family. And it's because it's still not as accepted. It wasn't then. I had to catch up to the times. But so, yeah, it was apparent to me. It still is apparent to me, but I think now it's become more inclusive where people can be out and still play all walks of life rather than just being stuck to their box. And that is true equality. And I'll even say this, I think anybody could play any race, any ethnicity, as long as there's enough equality for people like me to be able to play everything too, and not just be stuck in the box that you see phenotypically. That's true equality. So I've definitely experienced it, and I'm loving the new wave. It's beautiful, but we still have a lot of work left to do. For
sure we do. But what marvelous insight. That's a great story that you tell, too. It's really amazing how things are starting to shift. Like you said, a lot of work to do. Allegra, what about you? Tell me a little bit about how you define inclusion or a story about it.
Yeah, this was such a great question to think about. I feel like inclusion is making space for everyone in the room, while especially for the most marginalized in the room, and acknowledging, everyone's experiences and levels of privilege and marginalization, and trying to uplift, our most vulnerable folks. But yeah, and then feeling included, feeling understood, like you don't have to explain everything about yourself all the time. Like people in the space are all making an effort to understand experiences different from their own. And when they don't know things, like leading with curiosity and openness, while not, demanding that marginalized people teach them, but, just like honest, open conversations and finding that balance of doing your own research and then having just like open conversations and like investigating your own biases. So that all came to mind when I was thinking about inclusion. Definitely experienced feeling both not included and included in the voiceover industry. I'm non-binary, I'm queer, and yeah, I get misgendered like by most of my clients and like so many people I work with. And I know people have so many good intentions, and I work with so many people that, support trans rights and trans and non-binary people, but just aren't thinking of the fact that everyone has pronouns, and maybe we should ask and get to know everybody's pronouns like we get to know their names. But then I've felt very intentionally included in other parts of my career where I have clients that are looking for non-binary actors. And specifically, I love when it's like people looking for like, they want a non-binary person to carry this message. Like it's not even about a character identifying as so, which is awesome too. But I had this client come to me looking for like an e-learning narrator to narrate this like best practices in suicide ideation for LGBTQ communities. And I actually worked at the Trevor Project, so it like intersected with my past work. And they're like, we're looking for like a non-binary narrator to voice this. And that was like such an amazing experience that like I auditioned for. I got, and then they're like, you're so familiar with this material. And I'm like, yeah, I did this work. So it was just such a beautiful blend of like my lived experience being appreciated to be able to just on principle, like that's right. Like if someone has experience like in this community, lend your voice and also my expertise and everything I've trained for and all of that. So it's been a mixed bag, but I definitely feel, as Carolina said, like it's been, even in the 5 years that I've been in this specific industry, moving towards more inclusion. And even if we're facing a little bit of a backlash right now, we're not going back. So yeah.
You're right, we are not. Thank you for that. Really awesome perspective. The non-binary discussion in the voiceover world is really interesting, isn't it? In terms of Matthew Parham will smile when he sees this. He came up with the term clumsy ally. And he and I have kind of caught on to that. So clumsy allyship is sort of like what we're saying, we're trying, but not everybody knows how to approach, gender identification or pronouns. So if you feel like you're a clumsy ally, that's okay. Just ask, right?
Totally. The effort is so beyond appreciated rather than silence or getting it wrong and just continuing on.
Right. Very cool. Cherie. Inclusion.
Yeah, I feel like with inclusion, I feel like it's gotten better. We still have a lot of work to go, even with our trans siblings, our LGBTQ siblings who are feeling scared right now. And a lot of times when I do work that is not about LGBTQ, I'm like, aha, they don't know that a queer person is voicing this. And it's like a little win that it's like, we're all here. I am Asian. I am queer. I'm here doing this work. And we are all available. And also when you include other people with different thinking in the room, it brings so much more within that.
That's really, really great. Marion has a question. Do you ever just respectfully correct someone if they do get it wrong and they are a clumsy ally and forget to ask? Any opinion on that?
I'd say for myself, I often don't have the energy to correct in the moment because my mind is so not there. But what I will do is I try my best when I'm meeting new people, like, hey, Allegra, they, them, by the way, or maybe after. So I feel like if someone is thinking about how to, be a good clumsy ally, when you meet someone, introduce your pronouns with your name, and maybe that can open up the space and be like, hi, I'm Allegra, they, them, and just to start that kind of bridge of trust.
And for those who are just newly allies, if you really want to help, it could just be a simple, if they're like, oh, Allegra, I worked with her, and you hear that, and you just go, they. That's it. It doesn't have to be, oh, they go by they. It's just, oh, they. Oh, Allegra, they. That's it. Super easy.
Yeah. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it might feel uncomfortable. I learned in OCD therapy years ago that there's a difference between dirty discomfort and clean discomfort, right? Don't feel so awful feeling uncomfortable. It's okay to feel uncomfortable. It can be a natural discomfort that can move into a space of comfort, and that's all right, right? We don't have to self-shame if we don't get it right.
So, I realized that I actually open with they. I call everybody they at this point. And then if I want to go in further, if it seems like I maybe got it wrong, I say they or she or he or
same.
I open it up for them to answer and include them. But I go with they for pretty much everyone across the board now.
Yeah. And folks, I say folks a lot in humans because, that's what it is. It has to be more inclusive or as inclusive as we can. So why is using your voice a passion, Allegra? What's the most important thing to you about LGBTQ plus representation in the arts right now, during this tumultuous time especially?
Yeah. Why is using my voice a passion? Because it's so darn fun. I don't know. And I got into this because I love cartoons. And then what I discovered is that voiceover is huge and there are so many genres. And I didn't even think about progressive political ads. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. Or different educational things or instructive things. So using my voice as a passion, I think just because it feels, I don't know, using everything connected between my heart and my brain and my talents to do something good, to tell stories, to make people feel less alone. And then as for what's the most important thing about LGBTQ plus representation in the arts right now, I was thinking about this and two things immediately came to mind is that that we don't make ourselves smaller during this time and that we keep our people safe. And it's such a like balance for me of that. And so, not wanting to, just change our stories, not wanting to make our stories smaller and different or assimilate to fit whatever this, right-wing anti-LGBTQ backlash is right now. And with people abandoning us left and right and our stories getting cut and projects that have been, people have been working so hard on. So to still be fully ourselves and take up that space. And especially when thinking about casting, particularly like LGBTQ voice actors and trans voice actors to protect them. Because so often these, straight cis casting folks with good intentions will cast folks and then kind of abandon them in terms of what happens afterwards, especially now in terms of backlash. So to celebrate marginalized stories while acknowledging that we live in a world that's not safe for all of us. And so protecting and advocating and making sure people aren't kind of just like left out to dry.
That's really powerful. I'm just sort of swallowing that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, for
Cherie,
sure.
How about you? Why is using your voice a passion?
So for a while, my tagline was bringing voice to stories that matter. And also with the phrase silence is violence, I think our voices could be used for so much good. I think when you do a small action, whatever that might be, whether it's correcting someone's pronouns, just a thing, or whether it's speaking up for a cause, speaking up for a group of people, I think that's so important to be able to use your voice to do that. And so for me to use my voice in my daily life, I used to be so quiet. I used to be the quietest in the room. I never cursed. People were shocked when I said my first curse word. But using my voice to do stuff like Voice of God, to do e-learning, to teach kids like little things like that, to voice a non-binary platypus. I think each one of those things just really builds upon each other of knowing that you are using your voice to bring good into the world. That's really what I think I love using my voice for, is to make the world a better place.
Somebody needs to write a non-binary platypus into something stat.
Oh, I did. I voiced an animation about it.
Oh, you
great.
did do it. Oh, okay. I thought you said you wanted to do something like that. And I was like, what a great idea. That's great. I misheard.
They're not a duck. They're not a beaver. They're a platypus.
Right. Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you, Cherie. That's great. Carolina, what about you? Why is using your voice a passion?
It's really about humanizing our experience, humanizing us to others who are unfamiliar. Normalizing to those who don't feel like they are seen. There's so many, especially in the Indigenous community, there's so much suicide and a lot of people feel alone. So to me specifically, it's important I would have loved to see more of me, someone who represents everything I represent out there that I could look up to. A lot of people I looked up to just had nothing to do with my background at all. And I was crazy enough to still, I don't want to say the word crazy, but I was wild enough and optimistic enough to still go for this, wild card of a career. But I want to lead by example. I want little people everywhere to really see themselves, to hear themselves, to know that they have a purpose, they have a place in this world. And for the people that are not accepting them, to realize that they're human and to start accepting them and realize the error of their ways. The more they see us, the more they can't deny that we're a part of this world, and they can't get rid of us. So they might as well accept us.
If not, embrace us.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, that's so cool. You all are so amazing. I love how everybody has such different experiences and insights to share too. It's really awesome. If you could have one wish granted, whether it is about your career or life in general, what would it be and why? And it can be any wish, big or small. And I'm going to share my wish too, because I put it out into the universe whenever I can. If I could do one thing before I am no longer on the planet Earth, I want to be the voice of Goddess for a major awards show. That is my plan and my wish. And I want you guys to think big too. Allegra, how about you? I'll start with you.
I'm manifesting that for you. And I also know that's going to happen. That's totally going to happen. Let's see. Because I made it about the world, but then also you inspired. I'm like, what would I want to? But literally, I'm like, if I could have one wish that would literally be granted right now, I would want everyone to be able to make their own food with magic. Because I'm like, oh my God, I think if that could happen, it could solve a lot of stuff. If just with magic,
especially right now,
or whatever, make their own food. So manifesting that through magic or not. For myself, I think it would just be amazing to be a part of kind of just a beautiful queer animated series. That's kind of the passion that got me into this. And, I just keep going and hoping. And, but it'd be really cool to be a part of a story like the stories that inspired me, especially the times, starting around like 10 years ago where I'm like, wait, like that character actually kind of feels like me, or like I resonate in a new way. Oh my God, that would be so cool. So
that would be amazing. We're feeling it. We're throwing it out there. Woohoo. Carolina, what about you?
Oh my gosh, just because of what I'm going through right now, this is so trivial. I learned that Tom Brady cloned his dog.
I learned that too.
I was like, well, right at this moment, I would love to clone my dog, but they don't come with the same personality. So it would be kind of a wash. But if I had one wish, right now, a tiny wish, I would be to clone my dog, but have the same personality.
I just said that to my wife last week. It's true. It's true, though, because I can't even imagine what you're going through right now. When my doggie starts to go, so we're so sorry.
But for the world, I want everyone to have health care. I think that would lead to so many other corrections if everyone was able to get healthy.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah. Great wishes. Cherie, did I get you yet? No.
So for the world, I thought about this. I want everyone to be able to experience love for themselves and for others. And that sort of open curiosity. I feel like without that shame, with you being joyful in yourself brings upon so much joy in others. I feel like there's so much self-hate, which then leads to so much more hate in the world. If people aren't accepting of themselves, how are they going to accept anyone else? That's my wish. I've thought about that for a long time. So a wish for myself, ideally, like one huge national commercial a month would be great.
Super cool. We're throwing it out there for you.
That's doable. You got it.
Yep.
Yeah. We're manifesting all of this, big and small.
Yes. So one more question to go around, and then we will leave time for other questions that maybe come up. How about advice to anyone in the LGBTQ plus community hoping to start a career in voiceover and on stage or on camera work? Advice to anyone hoping to start their career in voiceover in particular. But let's start with Carolina.
Wow, there's so many avenues. There's no one clear path, but I would probably start by looking into QueerVox as a resource, because there's just so many classes that one can take, but I think it's a little bit more curated information, because there's so much information on the internet. But definitely classes, definitely finding out the different genres of voiceover, because there's so many. And you might like documentary narration, but you might not like audiobooks, although those kinds are very similar. But there's so many genres, and just because one area of focus doesn't align with you, there could be so many others, and there's an endless amount of information. But QueerVox would probably be my first step. Yeah.
Plugging QueerVox makes me so very happy. Shout out to JP and Sarah and the whole group over there. Florence, you're all amazing. So that's great advice. Thank you for that. How about you, Allegra? Advice to anyone in the LGBTQ plus community hoping to start a career?
Yeah, definitely what Carolina said. Classes to start and kind of be open, be curious. Like, I had so many surprises in my first few years of voiceover, of thinking I would like this genre, but not quite, or being like, or not even knowing genres existed. Like, I have really fun with sassy, dry commercials, and I didn't think that was going to be in my future. And I also didn't even know that was a thing I'd be good at. So also listen and hear the feedback you're getting, and really kind of sit with it and see what you like, what, your teachers, what casting responds to, and then, your compass is always like following your fire ultimately. So see what you're good at, what you want to work on, what, fills you up with joy, what you want to get better at, what you're curious about. And QueerVox, definitely top recommendation. And my first class that I took was at Shut Up and Talk. And I really liked that as a first voiceover class. They do like solid, like 4 to 6 week classes that I felt like was a really robust introduction, especially to commercial voiceover. So that would be my other recommendation of a good place to start.
Awesome. Thank you. What about you, Cherie?
Definitely QueerVox. QueerVox, such a great place and so many good resources. And also remember that it is a business. You're coming into this as a business. Don't think of it like, I can do this voice as Donald Duck. That's not. It's acting still at the end of the day. And take those classes, go to those, if you like, go to those conferences, do some coaching, set up your studio, learn how to use your equipment. And also, don't try and be anyone else. There are a lot of people like you, but there's no one who is you. So really sit into your voice and bring yourself to it.
Wonderful. And I would just like to share, and then I'm going to ask Christy's question. Also, if you have a disability, there's also disabledvoiceactors.com. You can get on there. I'm the administrator for the directory right now. And we have 5 really amazing volunteer team leads starting these great divisions of this. It's going to be, we're just bringing it next level. But if you get on there on disabledvoiceactors.com, you can put yourself on the directory. So casting directors have access then. And they request access actually on that same page. And that page will look a lot better soon, I promise, because of Florence Wilder, my person.
And there's a person of global majority.
And people of global majority, yep. So if you go on actually to navavoices.org, the National Association of Voice Actors, all of those groups are on there and have an access link, so you can do that too. Christy, what advice would you give to an actor who is scared to be authentically themselves? Like if they feel like they have to hide who they are to get work?
Oh, I have an answer for that. If they're an actor that's already in the union or any of the unions, SAG, I think AGVA, AFM, AEA, there's so many acronyms. The SAG Foundation has so many great classes that are free. They're a donation-based organization, they're a foundation, but they have so many great classes that help you come out of your shell and help you also learn a lot of the tricks of the trade in the different genres. And a lot of those will help you find your voice, especially if you're still unsure or if you don't have the funds to spend. They're a great, great, great resource.
So, Christy, I wonder, Christy Harst, who is the founder of Building Doors, is amazing and is working behind the scenes for us today. So I'll ask one more question then of all of you, because we have a little bit of time. What is a piece of advice you would have given your younger self before coming into I don't know, your adult world and where you are now? What's one piece of advice you could go back and give yourself? I always like this one because it just really helps, I think, ourselves to think about that question. Like, and you can tell your younger self that too.
I have an answer. I've thought about this one so much over the years.
Awesome. I love it.
To be present, to figure out how to stay present. I think there was so much time that I was running away from reality and from who I was and facing things that once, and it was funny because I took an improv class and that taught me about presence. And then it changed my perspective on so many things that I was doing. And I even stopped drinking alcohol. I wasn't drinking that often, but I was like, that it doesn't let me be present anymore. And it doesn't belong in my life. And things just changed completely. So everything I feel like I'm bringing more of myself to, everything that I do, all the interactions. And I'll catch myself if I'm, if I take a day off and I don't want to do anything with my brain, and then I'm seeing people, I'm like, okay, this is my day off and my brain isn't all the way here. But at least I'm letting them know I'm present, but my brain is checked out a little bit. And I have that awareness rather than just being glossed over it throughout life. And I think I would have been able to accomplish so much more had I learned how to be present so long ago.
Same. That's for sure. Very nice. Cherie or Allegra, you want to jump in?
Yeah, sure. I thought about this a lot as well. And it's like, The things I always tell students when they ask of like, what do you wish you knew? It's keep going. It does get better. Just keep going. And whatever it is you want to pursue, keep going for it. Don't try and discount yourself. Don't try and disqualify yourself. And also keep learning. Be a student all the time. Learn new things. Learn how to play the ukulele. Learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube. Learn how to do voice of God while wearing a headset and listening to people going, all right, standing by on lights, VOG go. And you're like doing 40 things at once. You know, all of that is learning. Learning how to use your knees when you're 40 years old. And all of that is constant learning. So keep going.
Definitely what you both said. I feel like right away I was just like, chill out, because I was such an anxious kid. So, and doing so much and trying so much and definitely not being present. But also just like, chill out. Like, it's okay. Like you are doing good things and you're doing just fine. And, you know, I was just so caught up sometimes with the next step and all of that. So, and also comparison is very much the thief of joy, and just like social media is fake and weird, and just connect with people in community, and we're all just doing our best and have our own struggles and things. So no comparing.
Really, really good advice. Yeah. If I could tell my younger self something, I would have said, girl, go to therapy way sooner. Go get some help. Go get the tools that you need to move through life. I'm telling you what, it's, and there are some affordable places where people in the LGBTQ community can get therapy and sliding scale fees and things like that. So please, please. And if you ever need resources and don't know where to go, connect with any of us. We'll help you for sure. Christy says, Thanksgiving and family dinner is right around the corner. Lots of options and opportunities to educate. What's the best response you have ready to go for folks who don't get it?
Ooh, I have an answer. I read this somewhere, but I remember it was like so concisely put, but it's that historical and cultural evidence shows that gender diversity has existed across societies for centuries. So respecting and affirming trans people is not only a compassionate act, but it's also supported by science and history. So you're going to be on the wrong side of history and deny all of the science. I mean, I guess some people are going to deny science, but...
Period.
Yeah, exactly.
What's a commercial spot you've seen, or even a brand that does a great job at inclusivity? Not Target anymore, unfortunately. What's a great brand that celebrates?
Honestly, we're not in a great time of that happening. And people kind of abandoning their campaigns that then now it feels like, okay, it was just all about the money. But I will say, I feel like any like local business, I'm often seeing the best and like most authentic, honest messaging from. So support your local businesses.
What a real answer that is, though, right? I mean, all of us stared blankly into space, trying to think about it right now, but we're in a very difficult time. Yeah.
Close by in Brooklyn, they actually have a trans art fair coming up. So they have stuff like that you could look out for. I know Patagonia also has Patagonia, who's been doing a lot of great trans work or drag work, which is really amazing.
Awesome. Christy Hurst, that's a great question. Who should we support with our spending dollars? That kind of ties in, I think. Yeah. Hard to say.
Gonna say like keep local and like there are so many amazing organizations, but I, as someone who used to work in LGBTQ nonprofits, like the big orgs get the most money and they do great work. But since they do get the most money, try to look at who are your local like organizations, your local like LGBTQ center, and supporting trans people in the area, and also mutual aid and grassroots efforts and giving money directly to individuals in need, because sometimes the money doesn't always trickle down from the big organizations.
That's great. That's really great. All right. With that being said, I think we are going into our outro at this point. You guys have been awesome. Jim says Sephora and Converse and Fossil. Good to know. I was thinking, I got to research this.
I think Sephora's on a list of do not. I think they support some.
There was something with the Mariah Carey thing where they're like, Don't cancel us. And we turned him into an elf because he's canceling Christmas. I don't know.
Man, I tell you.
I don't buy makeup, so.
Yeah, so
There's
much
more lists going around on who not to support than there are on.
I know. Well, that's the thing. Just when you think something is okay, all of a sudden the next day it's like, oh, it's not. Oh, man.
Yeah, pretty much every makeup brand is like, do not support.
Man. Wow.
Yeah, I remember seeing that yesterday.
Wow, that's insane. Well, we'll all have to do our homework now and find out which brands are still willing to, be a force of good for our community. John Lano says, thank you for this. Missed the early part, but anxious to watch the whole thing later because you all are really, really fabulous at what you do. And I love that we saw Cherie in her element in Manhattan. I love that. I love it. Thank you all so much. I've seen you in your studio too, Cherie. So it's fun to see you actually out of the studio sometimes, right?
It's so rare in our little boxes.
It is. So a huge thank you to all of you for sharing your time and expertise today on behalf of Building Doors. We truly appreciate you, and a big shout out to everyone who joined us live. We are so happy to have you with us. If you want to support the campaign, buy us a coffee and go to buymeacoffee.com/buildingdoorsvo to donate. And remember, we'd love to keep the conversation going. Call 216-307-1917. Anytime to leave us a short voicemail with your thoughts on today's discussion and the Building Doors campaign. Also, don't miss our next live event, Instagram Live with Jennifer Bennett-Yin. The topic, Building Calm from Chaos, Navigating the Shifting Media Landscape for Performers and Writers. December 3rd, 7 p.m. Eastern on Instagram Live. That's what I have for you, folks. This was an amazing experience. I'm so glad I got to know all of you better, or for the first time. Carolina, I don't think I've ever met you before, online or otherwise. It was a pleasure. Allegra, so wonderful. I love all the work you do behind the scenes for the LGBTQ community. And Cherie, my rock star, as always, so great to see you. Everything you do is just fire. Thank you, everyone, so much. And we hope to see you soon.
Take care. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Christy.
Thanks for listening to the Building Doors podcast. Want to hear more? Check out all our episodes at buildingdoorsvo.com/podcast and follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn at buildingdoorsvo. We'd love to hear from you, so call us on our 24/7 hotline at 216-307-1917 and leave us a voicemail with your thoughts. Do you want to support the podcast? Well, we love coffee. Buy us a cup through the link in the description or at buildingdoorsvo.com. Until next time, keep pushing forward, keep speaking up, and let's keep building doors together.